computer. Hello, and we are back again with another episode of Kim's Corner. And I am here with my guest, Natalie Mack, and we are talking today about homeschooling in the military. That's a big deal because I know that if you're on the base, you can have a base school, but I guess we're finding that there are many more homeschoolers. I mean, there are many more military folks that are taking the homeschooling route. And
Yes.
so I would love for you to share your story, how you, as a military wife, started homeschooling, and just tell us.
Oh my gosh. I love talking about this too. So,
Yay! This is why we
um,
love having you.
yeah. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you so
Mhm.
much. So I am a military homeschooler. I should actually say we just graduated our last of five, but my husband, I'll backtrack a little bit because
Mhm.
military people that are listening, even non-military, like to know the details, right?
Mhm.
And so my husband was a retired, he is a retired Navy chaplain. He retired 3 years ago. We all served for 34 years. He was the active duty member. Our family of five children and
Mhm.
myself and him moved all over the world.
Mhm.
Um, Fabulous, amazing experiences, and homeschooling was just perfect for it for
Mhm.
so many reasons. There's some traditional reasons, and now we're seeing some new reasons that a lot of families in the military are choosing to homeschool. So we can unpack
Mhm.
like the traditional and the
Yeah.
new. But it's been
Let's go
great.
right on in.
Yes,
I'm like, yes,
yes.
let's go right
Yeah.
into there. Let's
Let's
do
go
it.
on in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, traditional is probably the obvious. When I tell people, oh, we homeschool in the military, they're like, oh, that makes sense because you all are always moving, right? Don't you move a lot? And I'm like, yeah, we move about every 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
There are some military families that don't move, but very few. Most move
Mm.
every 2 or 3 years. And so that is a traditional reason. Like if you're moving every 2 or 3 years, a student is in and out of schools with different
Right.
teachers and different protocols, different everything, right? Different curriculum, different types of learning, different types of
Mhm.
ways they teach math, right?
Oh
Different
yeah.
programs.
Hmm.
Like it can be like this, up and down, up and down. And so military dependents, the children can be in and out of so many schools over the course of
Mm.
their childhood from K to 12. So for traditional reasons, a lot of families in the military would choose to homeschool for
Mhm.
continuity, stability, right? Also, flexibility is a traditional reason. Homeschooling allows us to say, oh, well, we can be off because our loved one who was deployed for 6 months is now back, and we can just
Yeah.
take a family vacation and just chill or go to
Hmm.
Disney or whatever
Right.
for a week because we
Yeah.
homeschool, right? We can flex
Hmm.
our time. So those are some of the main traditional reasons you will see. We are seeing new reasons. And when I say we, I do have a couple of hats I wear. And so when I say we in terms of military, I should probably
Hmm.
unpack what the we is.
Yes,
So,
please, please.
yeah. So one is I have the LLC. So being a military homeschool, I do offer consultations, help families
Hmm.
homeschool well. That's a whole nother conversation. But I also am the founder of a nonprofit that is
Hmm.
called Military Homeschoolers it's Association. We call it MHA. Amazing board of 13 ladies, like, well, I should
Mm.
say 13 people. We have one male, active duty Navy.
Hmm.
So, matter
Hmm.
of fact, he's underway. That means he's on a ship. We
Wow.
don't know where because
It's
there's
military.
conflict. And so when he
Yeah.
went underway, things happened in the world,
Hmm.
right? And the comms on the ship was cut off, comms
Hmm.
meaning communication. So
Right.
just praying for him to be, him and for his family back home
Hmm.
who probably doesn't have any communication from him
Right.
either.
Sure.
But having said that, that's MHA, that's the nonprofit. And then I do
Hmm.
wear a part-time hat with Homeschool Legal Defense Association, known as
Hmm. Yeah.
HSLDA.
Hmm.
And I'm their military outreach coordinator and a high school educational specialist for them. September will be 5 years.
Wow.
So I
Beautiful.
created their military outreach program
Mm.
and love doing what I do wearing the HSLDA hat. So, but I'm speaking here as more not HSLDA. I do
Hmm.
reference it because I do
Hmm.
love their advocacy and,
Yeah.
and their what they offer
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
homeschoolers. But I'm really speaking under the hat of MHA, being a
Hmm.
founder of the nonprofit. So I like to put that disclaimer out when I talk about
Yes.
military homeschooling.
Yes.
So recently, last November, our association launched a survey,
Hmm.
and we used SurveyMonkey. We had
Hmm.
a data analysis, a young uh, military homeschooler up
Mhm.
at West Point, amazing mind,
Mhm.
working on her PhD. And she was like,
Wow.
I see what you're doing and I want to be a part of it. This is you're supporting our
Nice.
community. And she says, I love doing surveys and data analysis. And
Hmm.
this would be, getting her PhD in psychology. It was perfect.
Wow.
She had worked with other nonprofits similarly. So I was like,
Hmm.
oh, you're a blessing. And she has
Hmm.
been true blessing. Candace Guelzo is her name.
Hmm.
And as a result of our conversation, we launched the survey in November using SurveyMonkey. And we had I think we ended up with 763 usable responses. That
Mm.
means
Okay.
763 military homeschooling parents
Hmm.
responded to 68 questions on this
Wow.
survey.
Wow.
And it's the first ever survey completely dedicated to military homeschooling families. The first
Wow.
ever. And
That's
I
incredible.
figured, yeah,
That's
I figured,
incredible
yeah,
because
it's been
it's
amazing.
2025. I'm
Yeah, in
like, wow.
2025. So we
Wow.
have a nonprofit that is called Blue Star Families. We call it BSF. They
Hmm.
exist. They do surveys every year. They do military family lifestyle surveys. So they include
Hmm.
education as a part of it. They ask one or two questions about families who homeschool in the military, one or two or three, three
Mm.
at the most, right?
Wow.
Because that's not the focus of that survey. And then we
Right.
have other entities like Johns Hopkins has pulled together. They haven't really done a
Hmm.
survey.
Hmm.
They actually pull their data about military homeschooling. They
Hmm.
pull it from the U.S. Census, had
Oh, from the
a
Census Bureau.
household pulse
Right.
survey. They were
Hmm.
able to extrapolate that data, but they haven't
Right.
done a real survey. And so this is the first ever survey just for military
Wow.
homeschoolers. And I knew our association needed to be the one to do it because
Yeah.
that's
That because that's what you do. I
that's
mean,
what we
that's
do,
that's
right?
that's who you are.
That's who we
Absolutely. I
are.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
And so with that survey, we found what I already kind of had seen in the work I do in the field, some
Hmm.
of these new reasons. So remember, I said,
Mm.
the traditional, right? We need a
Traditional.
lot,
Hmm.
we need continuity, we need flexibility to have time,
Hmm.
all the things.
Hmm.
The new reasons are what is happening in our society in homeschooling, period,
Wow.
which are the families that have neurodivergent children, right? They're
Mm.
pulling out. They're trying to figure out. They're the ones flooding into homeschooling and flooding into micro schools and flooding into
Hmm.
alternative education, right?
Wow.
Because they're like, okay, this isn't working. The public school is not meeting my kids' needs.
Right.
A lot of that post-COVID, like COVID and post-COVID kind of like
Hmm.
insights that families got,
Hmm.
it's happening in the military and it's still happening, and families are pulling out to homeschool. They're also pulling out of what we call DODEA, which is Department of Defense Education Activity. It's known as the
Hmm.
DoD schools. So
Hmm.
those are government schools by the federal government that are on military installations.
Okay.
They used to be on most military installations, but
Hmm.
in recent years, only a few in the United States have an actual DoD school.
Oh,
Most
wow.
of them are overseas because when you deploy, well,
Oh.
not say deploy, because it's not a deployment. When you get a family on orders and you send them overseas, the government
Hmm.
has a responsibility for housing.
Hmm.
They provide commissary, medical,
Hmm.
and education for those kids, right? Because you
Gotcha.
can't send a
Gotcha.
family overseas without those basic things.
Right.
The DoD school serves predominantly overseas, and
Hmm.
families are pulling out from DoD to homeschool their neurodivergent children.
Gotcha.
Also, we are seeing a lot of concern about school violence, which a lot of
Mm.
families, we talk about that, whether you're in the
Hmm.
military or not,
Right.
as
That's just
well
overall.
as
Hmm.
the bullying, increase in bullying
Mm.
that's happening, right?
Wow.
Families, I mean, bullying is a thing in elementary school, Kim.
Which is just amazing to me
Like,
because I mean these are babies. Like
these are
how
babies
is
that
how
should be on
first,
a
second, and third
playground
grade?
running
Right.
around.
We're not bullying. I don't
Yeah, and
understand.
they're
Yeah.
bullying, right? And
Wow.
so, yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
those are new reasons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been amazing though, because you get orders every 2 or 3 years. So
Hmm.
one of the ways you can maximize that is, of course, there's adjustments and
Hmm.
getting resettled again. That's work, and finding your
Hmm.
homeschool tribe and all that's work. But
Hmm.
also you're going into a new place. So what that means,
Hmm.
new places to see, new engagements, new opportunities, new extracurriculars. So it
Hmm.
it can be it can be opportunities to continually bloom and develop
Yeah.
over your life if you embrace it. And
Yeah.
then we got opportunity to go overseas. Our last one was in southern Italy, which
Wow.
was in Naples. And
Beautiful.
so, and
Mm.
I said, well, I'll go.
Sign me up, right?
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. That's
yeah,
great. So tell us how MHA really supports these homeschooling families. What are some of the things
yeah,
that you've been doing? And what are some of the things that you've been seeing as well?
yeah.
Hmm.
So, gosh, so many things.
Hmm.
Let me think what I want to say first. One is we have a podcast that is called Base,
Hmm.
the number two base
Hmm.
military homeschooling. So base to base military homeschooling.
Okay.
It's on our YouTube channel, which is Military Homeschoolers Association. We have a playlist and it's our
Hmm.
podcast. That podcast purpose is to help military homeschoolers who get orders in PCS constantly and they are going
Hmm.
into new environments and they want to ask questions. So we
Hmm.
will have a guest that may be stationed like at the Naval Academy, right?
Hmm.
Let's say that and you get orders, Kim, to the Naval Academy. What are you're asking not only like about housing and things, you want to know about
Hmm.
homeschooling, like, is there a homeschool community on the Naval Academy? Like, who's
Yeah.
not? What's outside of the gates? And,
Right, right.
like
Who can
da
I
da da da
connect
da
with?
da.
Who can I,
Right.
yeah, who can
Who
I
can
connect
answer
with?
it,
Because that's a
right?
big piece, that whole
It's a
having the
big piece.
community. Hmm.
Yeah. And so imagine if you're not military, but just imagine having to
Hmm.
move every 2 or 3 years
Oh,
and all
wow.
the things you have to reset up. And so the podcast goal is for a homeschool parent to come on,
Hmm.
typically a mom, to come on and answer those questions about the Naval Academy homeschool
Hmm.
community and what life is like homeschooling in Maryland and all the
Hmm.
things as a military family. So base to base is our one of our biggest ones. We
Hmm.
also have amazing partnerships with um, so many organizations now, and the list continues to grow. We're always
Hmm.
open to having a conversation with like
Hmm.
an organization that like wants to serve and support the military families.
Hmm.
From presidential libraries like the Ronald Reagan Presidential
Hmm.
Foundation and Library. We are working with Space Force, their STEM to Space program,
Nice.
working with an organization called Global Education. They are basically mainly overseas and
Hmm.
providing occupational speech therapy, other things to American families overseas. The list is amazing, and people are reaching out constantly in this nonprofit that I started it almost 2 years ago. October will
Hmm.
be 2 years. And I started it thinking, wow, like we need like what I called an umbrella to kind of like
Hmm.
place all these things under. Like we needed this big umbrella to
Hmm.
place partnerships and resources, all of these
Hmm.
things that could support us as military homeschoolers.
Hmm.
So I said, oh, a nonprofit. And so my husband was like, okay, I see you can start a nonprofit. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Okay, God, non yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So here we are. And
Hmm.
families that have said, I want to support, that's how we got the board that we have. So we have
Wow.
a school
Nice.
liaison officer. We do a lot of work. I travel a lot
Hmm.
training school liaison officers.
Hmm.
We have special needs, we have partnerships, program director, we have resource. It's like it's
I
grown into
love
this
it.
thing.
I
And it's
love it.
and so most recently I was excited because the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, had put out a memo requiring DOD to do an assessment
Hmm.
of, provide an assessment of how is DOD supporting military families who homeschool. So
Mm. And that's
that
very specific too. That
yeah,
is
like a month
very
ago.
specific because
Yeah,
it's
I
like
woke
we
up.
want to see the homeschoolers that are
Yeah,
in
we
the
want to
military.
see like
That's yeah,
how
that's
is
very
DOD
specific.
doing this, right? And I
Hmm.
woke up to this memo from what we call the SecDef, the Secretary of Defense. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is great because some of the things I've done as in leadership of
Hmm.
homeschool groups, most recently here at Fort Belvoir in Northern
Hmm.
Virginia, um, the partnerships and the programs we got going was like that's a whole nother conversation. And I
Yeah,
was like, we need this here, 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 across
right.
DoD land, across installation, here, here, here.
Hmm.
Like in these military homeschoolers, these ladies that are leading these groups are saying, we need a place to meet for our co-op.
Hmm.
the bases and the commanders are like, we don't have a place. Like, why do you need a place to meet? Well, because we are a group of families choosing to homeschool our kids.
Right.
Want to have a co-op location, or we want to have a holiday party, like,
Something. Yeah. Something
something.
where
We
we
want to
can
get together and do
connect.
art
Yeah.
activities, right?
Yeah.
So we've gotten that figured out at Fort Belvoir.
Okay.
And when I stepped down a year ago, August, from leading it after 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
I left all these things in place.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this SecDef, Pete Hegseth put this memo out about how can DOD, I'm like, I got answers because
Yes.
Fort Belvoir, we've done it.
Yeah.
Have partnerships with the garrison
Mm-hmm.
commander.
Mm-hmm.
We work with the garrison chaplains to host and
Mm-hmm.
use one of their religious facilities for our co-op, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
secular co-op.
Right. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, we have done it. And so as a result, after that memo came out, I had two
Mm-hmm.
journalists, one from military.com, another from Task and Purpose,
Mm-hmm.
reached out and said, "Hey, are you available? Can you do a workshop? I mean,
Yeah.
not a workshop, can you do like an interview because we want to
Yeah.
do an article?" And then I
We
got
need to link to those articles. Yeah, we need to
yeah,
link
and
to
then
those
I got an
articles. Yeah.
opportunity from CNN. So I
I
got to
remember
know,
that. I was
yes.
like,
So
Natalie's on
they were like,
CNN.
we would love for you to come in
Yeah.
studio. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Like, wow. And I'm like, and so like I'm like listening on the phone like to this opportunity. My husband's in the room, like, he's like, what? So I had to put it on speakerphone for him. He's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess this nonprofit that, it's doing good. And
It's doing good and it's
yeah.
meeting the needs of these families. I
Yeah.
love that. And
Yeah.
so do you envision now that for example, for what you've created on Fort Belvoir, that can be replicated
Yeah,
on others?
as
Yeah.
much as possible, every
Mm-hmm.
installation is different.
Sure.
So there
Sure.
are some things that are common on
Mm-hmm.
every installation,
Mm-hmm.
commissary, some type of medical.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be a school. It's probably going to be
Mm-hmm.
a county school. There's going to be chapels. There are some
Mm-hmm.
basic things, right?
Right.
So as much as possible, yes. There's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
school liaison officer, one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I set all that up. So I know how to
Beautiful.
do it. And so I'm like, and I mentor leaders like
Mm-hmm.
around the world. Literally, I have from Okinawa, I'll be on a call at 8 at night because
Mm.
it's 9 a.m. there.
Right. Right.
Leaders in Germany, I went to under my HSLDA hat. I did
Mm-hmm.
get blessed to go over to Germany 2 years in a row last year, 2024 and
Mm-hmm.
2023, to support the European Homeschool Conference. That was an
Mm-hmm.
amazing opportunity.
Wow.
I'm hoping and praying to get funded because Okinawa in the Pacific is like Guam. They're like, can you come? Like,
Wow.
you, because homeschooling
Oh,
is like families are here and they're far away from like the state conventions and
right.
curriculum sales
And
and
they need
yeah,
this. They
yeah,
have
and
needs as
they need
communities. Yeah.
help, right? And so my prayer is we'll get sponsorship for me to be able to go over and provide workshops and help families homeschool.
Yes.
So yes,
I
it's been
love it. So if you're
amazing.
watching,
Yeah.
especially for some of you philanthropic organizations, if you're
Yes.
watching, consider please
Yes.
what Natalie Mack is doing for these military families,
Yes.
who have chosen to homeschool their kids, to give them
Exactly.
what they need. I love
Exactly.
it. I
Yeah,
love it.
definitely. Please reach out because
Yes.
we
Yes.
have
And there are links.
sponsorships and things
Hmm.
coming, but it's been,
Hmm.
it's a nonprofit, so it's taking time.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we are so much in the public eye now.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the need is so great, and
Yeah.
I need money to be able to travel, not
Hmm.
personally. And
Right.
I do love to travel, but
Right.
more because families are wanting to continue homeschooling and they need
Hmm.
help. And
Yeah.
so I need to be able to get to them. It's
Hmm.
something about Zoom,
Hmm.
right? COVID
Right.
showed us
Right.
Zoom world,
Right. Right. Right.
but I don't think anything will ever replace in person, that
Right.
in-person contact,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because when
Right.
you're on Zoom and you cut that off, there's still people that may have questions, but when you're in
Right.
person, people can come up and say, you can see like relief,
Mm.
like, and it almost makes it, I start to kind of tear up because,
Oh,
you know, families that are, Kim, they come to
yeah.
you, right? And they're like, they really just need somebody to say, you got this, you got
Yes.
this. I
Yeah.
see you and you're working
Mm.
hard. and you
Yeah.
can do this. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, ooh, so,
Yeah, they do. They
oh,
need the encouragement. I
where
hope
the
y'all are
tears come
getting
from,
this.
I
I
don't
really
know.
know. And the tears are good. The tears are good because the tears are real,
Yeah,
y'all. The tears
yeah,
are real.
yeah.
People need, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love this podcast, why I love having Kim's Corner, because
Yeah,
I've always seen it as a place of hope for people.
yes,
That whatever you're walking through,
yes,
and
exactly.
listen, when we
Yeah,
choose to leave the traditional system to do
right,
this for
right,
our kids, it's
right,
not without a sacrifice.
right,
It's difficult. So
right.
when we have opportunities to encourage one another, to
Yes,
let each other know that yes, you can do this, and here we're here to help.
right,
We're here to provide resources. We're here to
right,
connect you with other people in your
right,
area.
right,
That's what it's all about. To
right.
let you know that you can do this and you can be successful, and we are here to help you. I
Yeah,
love what you said. We
yes,
see you, we
yes,
hear you, we're
yes.
here for you.
Right, right. And it makes so much difference. Oh my
Mhm,
gosh. I remember years ago, I was at Little Creek, which is in Virginia Beach.
mm,
We arrived there from Camp Pendleton, California.
mm,
Um, and I got there. I had been in a support group in Camp Pendleton, and
mm.
I was like, where's the military homeschool group?
Yeah.
And there wasn't one. Someone said you should call Kathy Carbow, and Kathy may be
Hmm.
listening later to this whenever you release it,
Yay.
because she's my right. I mean, she's just amazing. And so
Hmm.
she said, "Oh, who are you?" And I said, "I'm such and such," and and
Hmm.
I said, "I was told to call you." And she's like, "Oh, okay. How can I help?" And I said, "Well, I'm just trying to figure out where the military homeschool group is. Like,
Yeah.
where's the support? Like, what's going on here?"
Mm.
So she was like, "There isn't one, but if you will start one, if you feel called to start one, I will be right there supporting you." And to
Hmm.
this day, that was 21 years ago. She
Wow.
still has been in my back pocket. She's actually on the
Wow.
board, just retired, and said, "I will
Wow.
serve as your treasurer and financial officer."
I
And she
love that.
is a source of strength and support for me. And so she said, "I will come alongside you." And the reason I'm saying all that is
Mm.
because as a result, I started what was called then the Military Christian Homeschool Support Group. And we
Mm.
had so many families coming
Yeah.
everywhere in Hampton Roads
Wow.
to the little creek, which is like a Mayberry, like you remember Mayberry with Andy Griffith. It's like a little Mayberry installation. Like, it's an
Wow.
amazing place
Mm.
to raise kids. And our kids, we
Hmm.
were there for almost 7 years, and it was a blessing.
Wow.
And one day there was a young mom with two boys.
Hmm.
And, remember military, so people were deployed. Hampton
Hmm.
Roads is like,
Oh yeah, that's like Navy Central too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Military Central.
Everybody's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Army,
Mm-hmm.
Navy, Air Force, everybody's
Mm-hmm.
there, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's busy. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people gone, constantly
Yeah.
stressed, high. So she came and she was like, I could like she was just kind of frustrated and
Mm.
not nice to people, and just
Oh.
I was like, wow. But I was busy. It was co-op day. Well,
Mm-hmm.
co-op, it was our support group meeting day.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was happening. And she finally came to me like the next week and had
Mm-hmm.
tears in her eyes. And she said,
Oh.
and I've lost track of her military
Mm.
families we moved. So,
Mm.
but she was like, you know, I want to apologize.
Oh.
I, I'm dealing with my husband's deployed.
Yeah.
Both my boys are, they have autism. One was on
Mm.
the spectrum, one was nonverbal.
Oh wow.
She said, "And it's really hard, but please forgive me." She said, "Oh gosh."
Mm.
She said, "I want to stay. I
Oh.
need to be here in the group."
Mm.
And I still like tear up now because
Yeah.
the group, it served a purpose. So please, if you're hearing and you
Yes.
support, like that we can provide support to
Yeah.
these families who are, we sleep at night. We're on the retired side, but
Mm-hmm.
generally, not if you're not active duty, you don't know what life is like
Right.
getting orders and deploying and not knowing and not having communications and stuff. And
Yeah.
so it's stressful, right? And we
Yeah.
serve because we believe in it, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we serve our
Absolutely.
country, which is all of us, right? And so
Yeah.
you sleep at night well
Mm-hmm.
because somebody's on watch, right?
Right.
Somebody's
Right.
on watch. So please, if you're listening, dude, I didn't come on like to pitch. I don't know where all this
No,
came
but
from.
it's so
I just was
important. I
talking about
think it's
homeschool in the
important. Yeah,
military.
it's so important. It's so
Oh,
important. And I love what you did, Natalie. And I think this is where an encouragement also comes to everyone that's out there. If you don't see it, build it.
Yes.
They'll come.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what happened. That's been your
Yeah.
story. You
Yeah.
didn't see it. You were there
Oh,
and there was no one there,
right.
but
Yeah.
you built it and someone came
Right.
alongside you. And what I love is that the
Yeah.
community is large enough that someone
Mhm.
will come alongside you and you
Exactly.
will not, and you'll
Exactly.
find that even though it feels initially like you're by yourself, you're going to
Mhm.
discover very quickly that you're
Mhm.
not alone.
Right. You're not
You're not
alone.
alone.
You're not
You're
alone.
not
You're
alone.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this. I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for what you do.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you for meeting military families. And I know if you're a military family in
Yeah.
there, feel free to just, reach out, put something in the chat or whatever. But
Yeah.
just thank you for serving these families who
Yeah.
really are serving along with their spouse that's actually on the front line.
Hmm.
Thank
Hmm.
you
You are
for
so
doing this. And
welcome.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
letting them know that they don't have to be by themselves, that
Right.
communities exist.
Yes.
And again, if it doesn't, if they build it, they will be surprised at that
Right.
community that will come to them.
So, oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I
So,
love it. Wow. Well, we want to end up on a high note.
yeah.
Encourage, if you would just encourage the masses, encourage those homeschoolers that are out
Yeah.
there that are in the military. Just give them a word of encouragement if you would, as we
Yeah.
wrap up.
So one of the things workshops I offer is this idea of blooming where you are planted.
Mm,
And we don't always get to choose where we move to next.
mhm,
Um, you can put in requests, like for example, my husband was, when it was time to move, he could put in a request of like a
mhm,
top five.
mhm,
I don't know how that works across all the branches and the ranks and all. So I put that out there because somebody listening may say, "Well, I didn't get to choose." We that didn't mean that we could get any. We could get one of those five where the
mhm,
military could say, "Nope, we need you here." So
mhm,
literally, we really don't get to choose where we go.
mhm,
So we have to though choose to bloom where we are planted. That's what you can control. You can't control where you get orders to. But you can control your attitude and the fact that you are going to bloom where you're planted. You're going to
mhm,
say, this is where I am, and this is the resources I have, and I can make the best of this
mhm,
for yourself, your
mhm,
peace of mind,
mhm,
but also your kids. You're
mhm,
modeling for your kids how,
mhm.
when situations aren't what we want, we can still survive. And we can not only survive, we can thrive.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yes. Love
hopefully
that.
that's encouraging.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Live where you're planted.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
Everyone, this is Natalie Mack that's been with us with Homeschool Natalie Mack and Military Homeschool Association. Again,
Yeah.
we will have links in the description below for you to be able to connect with her.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for being with us.
Thank
Um, and continue to join us on this journey. Wow.